Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews. So I am super excited to take a look at IKEA's smart blinds. This is something they've been teasing for a very long time. And as usual, they didn't announce they were going to drop them on a particular date. They just got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back until randomly they drop and I find out by accident. So, without further ado, here it is. The IKEA FYRTUR. I don't know, there's probably people out there who are screaming at my pronunciation that is completely wrong. But yeah, this is the smart blind. Now there could be a problem here because they didn't have the size I wanted in stock, so I had to go for a larger size, but I'll cross that problem when I get to it. Apparently these are designed by someone called David Wall. Who's David Wall? But anyway, first things first, let's go put this up. Right, I've got it all set up. Now, my house at the moment is undergoing some renovation, so I haven't actually been able to put it exactly where I want to put it, because that room is currently being redone. So I've put it in the most useless place I could think of. As you can see, is doing absolutely nothing, but I can demonstrate it to you at least. Now, let's talk about the actual setup of the product itself. This is how it went. Now, Tradfri products aren't exactly known for their ease of use, so the first thing you have to do is open the back of the remote and hold down the pairing button next to the gateway. Now, this can be a problem if your gateway is shoved away in a tiny corner. Next, you have to take the remote and then pair that with the signal repeater that came with the blinds. Why you have to do this, I don't know, and why the blinds need a signal repeater, again, I don't know. But bear this in mind when you're buying these blinds, that you're going to need to plug a signal repeater in, potentially for every single blind, but I don't know for certain. I just know that the signal repeater comes with the blind, and this is in the instructions. After this, you then take the remote up to the blind, press the two buttons on the blind to make the light go white and pair the remote with the blind. Of course, I waited and waited and waited and waited some more and nothing happened. So I quit and repeated the process. The second time I did this, I left my phone on the desk and waited, and eventually it managed to find my blind in the system. Maybe it was just me not waiting long enough the first time, but it was a bit finicky, as to be honest, a lot of the Tradfri devices have been to set up in the app. It works eventually, but it is a bit finicky to set up, and if you're not used to it, I can imagine the first time you set one of these up, you'll be pulling your hair out. But at least you've seen now how to do it and how I did it, and so hopefully that will help you. Once it's set up, you've got this remote right here like this. It's got an up and down button. You press up to go up, which is quite self-explanatory. You let go and it stops. If you press it once, it just automatically goes up without you pressing it, so which is quite nice. So if you just want to open or close it and then press it once more to stop, again I can press down and it goes down, or I can hold it in, it's up to me, I don't really mind, and then press it when I want to stop. Now, this is also magnetic, so it magnetizes to a mounting plate that you can screw into a wall. But once this is all paired up, you can actually throw this away, essentially, and use the app. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Woo! That was close. Never throw your remote. Out of interest, this currently is now probably nearly at its full extent, which is about 195 centimetres apparently. So it's nearly 2 metres in length. So it can cover, I guess, small doors. Might be a few centimetres off the floor, but certainly really tall windows anyway. And it comes in a bunch of lengths as well. You've got this one here, which is 140. Is that the largest? I think that might be the largest, possibly. But you can go right down, I think, 60 or 80 is the smallest, but they do it in preset widths of 20 centimeter intervals. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. You can now, once it's all set up, chuck the remote away, although do not chuck it. You can use the app. So in the app itself, this is how it appears. So it'll appear first of all in a room. Now, it's got up and down. I can see that it's pretty much all the way up, and I can drag this to the percentage I would like this to raise to. So for example, if I want it to raise to 38%, I can let go. And then you can see on here, it gives me the option to pause if something's going wrong, or just wait until it goes all the way up. Most of this video is just this going to be going up and down. And there we are, it stopped in the app at 38% or whatever it was, and it stopped right there. Now you can also set the maximum drop for this. So if, for example, it's above a sink or something, you don't want to go into the sink, then you can actually set a maximum drop value for this so it won't go below it. Now to set the max length of the blind, you actually don't do it in the app. You do it by pressing the two buttons on the very top, which I'll flash up on the screen now. You press those twice, I think, at the length you want it. So if I double tap those now, it would stay at this length, being the maximum length it would drop to. So that's quite a handy little feature. I use the whole Tradfri system with Amazon Echo devices throughout the house. Now, the negative thing about these blinds at the moment is that you cannot control them with your Amazon devices or through the Alexa voice system. When they're going to update this, I don't know, hopefully soon. But at the time of this review, pretty much, what are we in now? At the very end of August 2019, it's not currently available. But then again, IKEA have a habit of doing this, releasing a product that isn't fully finished. I mean, for example, the IKEA smart outlets, which I've got plugged in down there, they didn't support HomeKit, I think, possibly even Alexa when it came out. But eventually, that support got added. So I'm expecting them to add this in very soon. I think at the moment, Google Home supports these. I'm not 100% certain on that one, but all I know is that at the moment, it won't work with your Amazon system. Consequently, what this means is that if you have routines or you have certain commands that maybe turns all the lights on or turns all the lights off, you can't have these controlled at the exact same time through the Echo service. What you can do, if you wanted them to work automatically essentially, is you can set a timer for them to open and close in the timers on the Tradfri app itself. And in here, you can go to blinds and then choose your blind to basically come on at a certain time, open at a certain time to a certain level, which is nice, and it's a stepping stone in the right direction, certainly. Is it a replacement for my Echo voice service? No, not at all. I much prefer to use my voice to control these. So IKEA, add that feature in very soon. So, how much does this particular product cost at this moment? Well, it really varies depending on the size that you go for. Average, you're looking at about £150 for a sort of regular size window, but the smaller ones are a little bit cheaper, the larger ones are a bit more expensive. Now, do I think that's a fair price? And this is an interesting one. I certainly think that's an okay price for what it is. However, I feel that at this moment in time, right now, it's a half-baked product. It's got some great features and it works with the Tradfri system very well. But what it doesn't do is integrate with every single smart home system that you might have. Fine if you've got Google, but if you've got Apple stuff or you've got Amazon stuff, it's just not going to work at this moment in time. And they've done this a couple of times now, released products that don't have full support. I would rather, IKEA, you wait until you've got everything ironed out and supporting all systems before you release a product, because you're releasing a product that is half-baked, and it makes me kind of question the purchase. Was it worth it? I don't know, because I can't control it like I do the rest of my devices. And that is really the end of this video. It's a great device, just at this moment. They've taken it out of the oven too soon, and the cake has not risen. But is this an investment for the future? Do you know what? Probably. Once they've updated it with the other support, I think this is going to be a fantastic product, and it works very well. And that concludes today's review. Guys, if you liked today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you back for another episode of Stu's Reviews soon. Before you go, consider supporting me on my Patreon page by clicking here. It'll give you some great discounts on stuff I've reviewed and helps me to continue doing reviews. If you want to see some fun stuff, click here to see the highlights of Stu's reviews. And, as a friendly reminder, click this button to subscribe.